Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Sussex Daily News Channel. This video, we discuss Trump's warned, Queen's warned, and Harry's stupidity and ignorance. Last night, a royal commentator warned Harry that he should stay out of the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Not his business. Angela Levin told Talk Radio that the Duke of Sussex still represents the United Kingdom and therefore should not be telling U.S. citizens to vote. The royal expert added that despite Harry's staff stating that the Duke is not backing either candidate in the election, it is clear who he's not supporting. Ms. Levin said, "I think the election is very important because it is not his business. He's still a royal. He represents the United Kingdom. He cannot go over there and say everyone has got to vote. We all know who he means. One of his staff said he did not mean anyone in particular, but he was sulking when Trump came to visit the Queen in Windsor. If it was not, he would have been in big trouble with Meghan because she is quite outspoken about her dislike of Trump." Ms. Levin also told Talk Radio that the couple's latest intervention in the U.S. presidential election could be the final straw. This comes after reports from royal aides today that the political stunt may have violated the couple's Megxit agreement with Buckingham Palace. When radio host Julia Hartley-Brewer asked, "Do you think that moves will now go ahead for removing the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles and the HRH titles from them? So not just making them non-working royal members, but non-royal altogether?" Ms. Levin responded, "At the end of March next year is when they are meant to review their arrangement with the Queen. I'm quite convinced this is when they will have to leave all their titles and royal membership behind." Ms. Levin also told Hartley-Brewer her view of the pair's political intervention. "I want to say, poor Harry, really. He was sitting on that bench, looking as if he was imprisoned, because Meghan moved right up to him so he had very little room to move. When she turned to him, to listen to him saying things about online hatred, she looked so harsh that if he doesn't get it right, he will be in big trouble later." She added, "They say they want privacy, but they are forced on us at every turn, every little thing they do. They must have a huge team of PR flooding the press. The election is important because it's not his business. He is still royal. He still represents the UK. He can't go over there and say this. His staff said he didn't mean anyone particular, but remember, he was sulking when Trump visited the Queen in Windsor." But royal author Hugo Vickers urged Harry to return to the UK before it is too late. Mr. Vickers insisted the Queen's grandson is looking miserable and out of his depth in the U.S. Writing in the Sunday Telegraph, the royal biographer said, "In a few short months, Harry has gone from being a prince with the chance to use his position to achieve much for Britain, the Commonwealth, and the military, to a boy lost." Mr. Vickers criticized the recent video Harry appeared in with Meghan Markle, which saw the couple speak out on the U.S. upcoming presidential election. The royal author said, "He is out of his depth, behaves like a ventriloquist dummy, and can barely hide his discomfort. You can't help but feel sorry for the poor man." Mr. Vickers insisted royals are at their best when they support their queen. He said, "Those who do their duty, as the Queen has done, invariably emerge happier than those who pursue the path of perceived happiness." The royal expert questioned whether freedom from the royal family has been a greater burden than Harry expected. He said, "Of course he should cut his losses and come home, before it is too late. The tide is somewhat turning against him, but there is still time." They prompted a response from the U.S. president, who admitted he was not a fan of Meghan and wished Harry luck, adding, "He's gonna need it." Buckingham Palace was quick to distance itself from Harry's remarks amid the furor. Meanwhile, Graham Smith told Express.co.uk that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex should disclose the amount of rent they are paying to keep Frogmore Cottage despite being based in the US. They ordered to pay rent for Frogmore Cottage use while in the UK. Republic is an organization that campaigns for the Queen to be replaced by an elected Democratic head of state and the abolishment of the monarchy. Mr. Smith said, "Frogmore does not belong to the royal family. It belongs to the Crown Estate. So, Meghan and Harry should never have been allowed to have that home, and they should have paid for the renovations up front. They were done to their specifications so that they could live there. Okay, so they've now paid for it. They have said they have done so because they can now afford it. They could have always afforded it, so their excuses are a bit rich. They are apparently still going to have use of that house, exclusive use of that house. So, we need to know what rent they are paying and why the Crown Estate allows them to retain the property when they are not living in it." However, according to a fan, what Smith isn't taking into account is that if there wasn't a royal making use of the house, then it would just be standing vacant. It stands in the private part of the grounds at Windsor, so it can't just be rented out to anyone for security reasons. It is very close to Frogmore House, and I doubt the Queen wants to find strangers roaming around the royal burial ground or leaving graffiti on the mausoleum. It wasn't even suitable as staff quarters anymore, as it had become extremely run down and unsafe, with not much having been done to it since the 1940s. This fan added, I was always a little torn over Harry and Meghan footing the entire bill for the renovations. Yes, they should have paid for any special requests and upgrades. Repairs to the structure itself, though, are usually made by the owner, and this one was already on the list to be repaired prior to it being assigned to Harry and Meghan. After all, how many people move into a rental property and are told they have to pay for new wiring, brickwork, or a new roof themselves? And yes, they definitely should be paying rent on it, even if they aren't living in it. And many fans also discussed this couple, a fan wrote. Harry wants out of the royal family. He, therefore, doesn't need his title, and by extension, his grabby little wife doesn't either. Why are they clinging on to titles so desperately? Have they realized they are nobodies without the royal connection? They need to be told they are not allowed to use the titles. That should put the mockers on their plans, just like the removal of the Sussex Royal. Meanwhile, explains from an anonymous expert, a British prince goes to live in America with his American wife and then helps her participate in a speech about voting in America and certainly not about the British people who cared for him so much. This prince has no care about his country or his blood family. So one has to ask if he ever did care, or is he angry at his family for how they treated his mother, as I have read elsewhere? Is he angry at the family for always putting him second? Then it was fine to put him second because he was not going to be king. Had he been born into a normal family, it would not have mattered that he was the younger son. He would be equal to his older brother, so when the prince was a kid, the monarchy was of absolute importance, and the queen loved the heir the most, even if the younger one made her laugh. Well, what happened to this queen? Now quite old, when did it come to the monarchy? Does she not care any longer about the monarchy or her people, and only cares about her younger grandson and his American wife, both who could not give one hoot about her? She is queen and lives a privileged life and always has. Most people, ordinary people, hope to have a job next year and the year after. The queen never had to worry, never had to express an opinion. It is now time to basically divorce her grandson and his wife, two people who have insulted her and her people by not working for the country and not respecting the queen and people. And you? What do you think about them? Please let me know in the comments section below. Remember to like and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News version 2 channel to not miss any of our news by our team. Now, thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you in the next video.